All right, I'm just setting up the link now. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Branding. Doesn't matter.
Oh, I see. Because of your chat that's on there, Larissa.
What's that?
Because of your chat that's on there, you're asking.
Yeah, no, just like if we ever need to ask something.
So we're live on YouTube, which is a good sign.
Are we live now?
We're on YouTube. We're not on the website just yet.
No one's watching.
We're just about to post the link onto the website. Andrew's coming in now, mate. Don't forget, if there's a mobile version, you're going to need to do that as well. Let me know when we're good. Got it? Okay. And JJ, just come up on the live webinar page just to let me know we're there. Are we live on the page? We're live? All right, can you guys just hit your mutes as well? All right, I think we're good. I think we're all live. All right, so I just want to make sure, so anyone who's watching this now on the webinar page, on the live page, if you guys on the right-hand side, if you're watching on a desktop, on the right-hand side there, you'll see a little chat window, or if you're on mobile, if you scroll down, there'll be a little chat window down there. Can you guys just type in there right now and just let us know that you can hear us and you can see us okay, that everything is working from your end, and then we're about to get started because we've got a really, really exciting night of training for you guys. And as you can see on your screen right now, we've got 7, I was going to say 8, but that would include me, 7 absolutely lovely and wonderful and beautiful and intelligent and successful people all ready to share all of their amazing content with you guys. So have we got some confirmation from some people, Andrew? Is there anyone typing in the text box at the moment? Pardon? Yes? Are we on the web page? Yeah, we can see okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to wait for about 2 more minutes. We're going to let some people log in, make sure everybody is live, make sure everyone's watching. I'm just going to get some confirmation from my team that everyone's working. Yes? Yeah, good. Messages are starting to come through. Beautiful, beautiful, awesome. So we actually had around about 350 registrations for this webinar, which is pretty good considering we only started about 9 days ago. We went out publicly 9 days ago letting you guys know we're going to offer this free training. And so 9 days ago, we've got about 350 registrations, which is super exciting. I think we may have a few more. Some of my team are just sharing it in the groups at the moment and on the different pages. So that's really exciting as well. And as you can see on my screen right now, we have the beautiful Larissa McClellan. We're going to do some introductions in a second, some formal introductions about who everybody is. But let me tell you, just before we got onto this training session, all of our speakers just jumped on to our own private link, and we just had a bit of a chat about how things are going to roll tonight. And I am so unbelievably impressed with some of the credentials of some people here on the training tonight. That's going to deliver some content for you guys. We've got people who have been in business, who've owned and operated multi-million-dollar businesses. Sandy, who's on here, I won't talk too much about it, but she's owned her salon for 35 years. Can you imagine owning a salon for 35 years? Well, Sandy has done it. We got Bridget Benj, 25 years in the business. We have a little bit of a wild card tonight, which is Asti Marie, who is a female sexual empowerment coach. Some of you guys who follow my content would see that I've done a few interviews now with Asti, and every single time I do an interview with Asti, I get flooded with messages and correspondence to say, oh my God, I love that interview with Asti. She, even though she's not in the hair and beauty industry, she offers some really, really good insights into business and manifestation and success. And she works with her own clients to achieve this. So we're going to go through all of that. We got Tara, we've got Ellen Toby, who are international superstars. So amazing, amazing credentials of people. We're going to wait maybe 1 more minute before we get started. And then I'm going to give you guys some introductions and let you know how tonight is going to operate. You better strap yourselves in. We've got 90 minutes of this tonight, which is going to be probably some of the most amazing content you guys are going to have for your business and hopefully help you to succeed and do really, really well. So just one more final check before we get started. Everything working good? Yep, awesome. Okay, so here we go, rock and roll. Let's do this. My name is Billy Rickman. I am currently the CEO of Billy Rickman Coaching and also the founder and creator of SalonGrowthCon. Before that, I owned and operated a franchise system that I started in 2009. I sold that in 2018 and now look after a couple of hundred coaching clients from around the world. And as mentioned before, I'm the creator and founder of SalonGrowthCon, which is an event we're hosting in June this year, on June 15, June 16. It's for salon owners who want to succeed in the hair and beauty industry. It's not going to help you cut hair better. It's not going to help you do a better facial. It's not going to help you wax a better eyebrow. But what it will do is teach you all the marketing, sales, leadership, and management skills you need in order to succeed in the industry. So that's who I am. So one thing I do ask of you guys, please, 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 is to make sure right now, I'm going to wait 30 seconds because I really want you guys to do this. Get your mobile phone, right? Get your mobile phone and turn it off, or at least turn off your notifications, or throw it out into another room, or get someone to take it off you, because you deserve this time. You deserve this next 90 minutes for you to help you succeed in business. This training, if we were to put a price tag on it, if I was to pitch this and got all of these people in a room and did a 90-minute training that we're going to deliver tonight, if I put a price tag on that, it would be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Literally, not even thousands and thousands, like tens of thousands of dollars. And all of these guys have come here tonight to volunteer their time and to help give back to the industry. And so you guys deserve this. And all we ask in return is you put your phone down. You know what? If you get a notification on Facebook, it's still going to be there when we finish. If you get someone message you, that message is still going to be there when you finish. You deserve this time for yourself to learn and to help you grow. So please make sure you just turn everything off, and also make sure you get some paper and pen, and take notes. The biggest lie we always tell ourselves is that we'll remember things. We don't remember them. We never do. And so I want you guys to make sure you write your notes down, and also it helps to embed into your brain as well the information you're going to learn tonight. Okay, so for me personally, I wish when I started in this industry that this training was available for me, right? Oh my goodness, sorry. When I started in this industry, it was so hard to find information. Like, there was no internet. Well, there was internet, but like Facebook wasn't around. You know, YouTube videos were nowhere near the standard of what they are now. There was none of this available. And tonight we get to deliver this content right now live. So if we screw up tonight, you'll know it's live. Hopefully we won't. But I wish this was around for me. And so you guys are lucky. You're blessed to have this information being delivered to you guys in the comfort of your own home tonight. So I've got a few notes here I'm going to be referencing just to make sure I don't miss anything. And so tonight's topic is, let me get this correct. Tonight's topic is how to attract better clients into your business, price your services correctly, create a positive team culture, and maximize your profit without changing everything and starting over. Now, the reason we chose this topic is because I actually did a little bit of a poll, and I asked people, what do you want to know about? What is the most pressing issues in your business? And these were the ones that keep coming up all the time. People want to know, how do I price my services better? Because I feel like I'm undervalued. I feel like I'm not doing the right thing by my business. I feel like I'm cheap, or I'm just getting by. I'm not making profit. How do we do that? How do we create positive salon culture? How do we maximize our profits? How do we do all of these things? And so that's why we've used this topic tonight. That's why we want to give you information on this. And so that's the topic we're going to be talking about. And like Tony Robbins says, he says the benefits of going to things like this or going to events is to get information that has taken decades and condense it into days. Well, in this instance, we're going to take all of the information from decades and try to condense it into the next 90 minutes for you. Then after that, so that's the first portion, so the night is actually going to be broken up into three main sections, okay? The first portion is the live training section. The second part of the night is actually a live Q&A, all right? So like I said at the very start, if you're watching on mobile, if you scroll down, you'll see there's a white box there. If you, on desktop, you'll see on the right-hand side, there's also a white box there. And what that is you can write comments. If you just want to respond to something, you want to go, wow, or that was so interesting, or I really love that, you can do that. But also what that's there for is for you to ask questions. Now, we're not going to interrupt the speakers tonight when they're doing their training with questions. So what we're going to do, I've got my team here monitoring it, they're managing it, and all of these questions that you guys write throughout the night, we're going to stockpile them, and then we're going to do a full-on Q&A panel session after the training. So after the first part, we're going to do this Q&A panel. So if you have any burning questions, if you want to know anything specifically, if there's something that's triggered a thought in your mind tonight based on the content, or even if it's got nothing to do with the content tonight, it's just like, oh my God, finally I get to ask Bridget Benj a question about my skin clinic, and it's got nothing to do with the topic tonight, but you want to ask Bridget a question, then please feel free to do that as well. If you want to ask a generic question, which you want me to open up to the panel and just kind of have a free-for-all answer, then we can do that. But if you want a specific speaker to answer that question for you, so maybe you've got a brand you're thinking about taking internationally, like, hey, Toby and Al, can you please answer this? Like, what should I do? Then please make sure you reference the speaker as well. My team are going to do that. I've asked the speakers tonight during the Q&A to try and keep it as succinct and short as possible, their answers, so we can rip through as many questions as we possibly can to serve you guys and give you back some heaps of information to help you in your business. The last section as well is we have also put together a unique offer for tonight. Now, in that offer, there's $2,300 of free stuff that we're going to give to you. It's free. We're going to give it to you, but you must be here at the end. If you're not here at the end, you won't get the unique link. You won't get the unique offer. So you must be here at the end to access that. And like I said, there's over $2,300 of free stuff that you're going to be delivered to you. Jesse's giving me a little time thing. So if you hear her bangles, maybe take your bangles off, Jesse. We see these bangles come running through every 2 minutes. And so there's that, but you must be here at the end. And also, just to give you guys, lastly, before we start the actual live training, which is going to take place in about 2 minutes time, don't forget also that all of these speakers that are on here tonight are also keynote speakers at Salon Growth Con. So like I said at the start, Salon Growth Con is our major event. There's never been anything done like this in the hair and beauty industry. Like I said, it's not an expo. It's not going to teach you how to cut hair or be a colorist or be a facialist or be a waxer. It's not going to teach you how to do laser or use skincare products better. What it will do is teach you as a business owner how to succeed massively in this industry. And we've got 8 speakers here tonight who are all going to be part of that. But over the 2 days, we actually have 23 speakers, including the amazing Tabitha Coffey from Tabitha Takes Over. Right now, if we can light up with the comment section right now, just to make sure all our comments and questions are working as well. Scroll down on mobile or on the right-hand side in that box. Let us know who you're most excited about seeing at Salon Growth Con. And for those of you who do have tickets already and you're not sure who you want to see as part of the roundtable, which is an intimate part of the event, each speaker gets to do a roundtable with only 50 people. And if you have tickets to Salon Growth Con, you can actually nominate who you want to go and see as in the roundtable. So if you love some of the content by Tara tonight, or you love some of the content by Asti, or Larissa or Sandy, then you can make sure afterwards you go onto the roundtable page and you can nominate to be part of Sandy's roundtable, which is, like I said, an intimate setting. So all that being said, let's get started. Let's get rocking and rolling with the training section. And so to start off the training, I want to ask the question firstly that people are always asking, and I want to put it to the panel. So I'm actually going to start with Bridget and Asti, and specifically, let's start with you, Bridget. How do people attract a better quality client into their business? How do people attract the right type of client for their business who are better quality? They want to spend money, they're loyal. How do they do that? Let's start with you, Bridget. Come off mute, Bridget. Just hit that mute button.
Okay, that'll help.
That'll help. We're good. We're good. Okay,
sorry about that, guy. Okay, so in a service industry, we're all in a service industry. So how do we define a better client? A better client has got to be a loyal client, has got to be a client that actually comes into our business, not just once or twice, but on a regular basis. So let's say for skin salons or beauty salons, we're talking about them coming in for 2 courses a year, maintenance every month, and buying retail. For hairdressers, they're coming in probably every 6 to 8 weeks, having color and a cut, and also buying the retail. Would you agree that that's a better client? That's what we would call a better client, right?
Right.
So a better client in our industry can be anything between $2,000 and $10,000 a year, right? That's the value of the client in a year. If we've got a lot of $10,000 clients, then what we've actually got is a good business and thriving. And just before I got onto this, I quickly asked on my own group, what is your average annual client spend? And what is the highest client spend? And straight away, somebody came in and said $10,000 a year. So if that is the better client, then what is it that we've got to do to make sure that we attract these clients? So for a start, a loyal client, if there is a woman or a guy in your suburb where your business is right now and they are loyal, So they are going to a salon, they are having the treatments, they are buying the retail, they're not coming to you. So they're obviously at your competitors. So if you want them, you're going to have to lure them away from your competitor into you, or you're going to have to create these loyal clients in your business. So how do you do that? What needs to be done? Who do you need to be able to do that? And I call it the identity rule. You've got to create your own personal identity, meaning the business's identity. And the rule, it's an anagram of RULE. So you need to have remarkable treatment offerings. You need to have undeniably results-driven products. You need to have legendary service and extraordinary results.
I love that.
You actually have to go that far, because if you don't have remarkable treatment offerings, or, mediocre products, or less than, mediocre services, it's not going to happen, right? At the end of the day, our clients across the beauty industry, they're spending a lot of money. Even a client who's only spending $2,000 a year, do you know that that's an average of $38 a week? I mean, if we break it down, it's amazing. A client that spends $10,000, and in the skin industry, that is very common, that's an average of just under $200 a week. So that's a big chunk out of everybody's wage packet. So what we've got to do is make sure that we offer that kind of service and maintain it. So then you've got to decide what your identity is around that. Who am I? Who is the business? What do we do here? So what kind of client do we attract? What kind of therapist do we attract, right? Because we can't be extraordinary if we've got mediocre therapists or mediocre hairdressers. What is our specialty? Do we actually know what do we do best? What are we known for? We can't be known to be great at everything. We have to have a specialty. And what do we believe in, and what do we want, so that we can attract the clients that we want, and we can attract the therapists and employees who believe in what we believe. Right? So it's a combination of all of that. And once you've got that sorted, once you truly understand with crystal clarity who you are and who you want to attract, both in your business working for you and also as a client, then you are in a position to offer extraordinary service. And I have to tell you that extraordinary service, legendary service, that is the key. That is the magic bullet. And with the magical word called consistency.
Yeah. Right.
So we want to offer extraordinary service to every client at every visit by every therapist without exception. Without exception, because as soon as we offer that exception, as soon as once we fall down, it's like the domino effect, everything falls down. Yeah. So I really want the industry to truly understand, to get the clients to pay that kind of money that we want. I spoke Tara before. Is it okay, Tara, if I tell people what you spend on balayage? What's it called? Balayage?
Balayage, yeah.
Tara invests, in my opinion, $400 every few months, right? Every couple of months to have that treatment. That's a lot of money. So if we want Tara to spend that kind of money with us, then we better be good at what we do. Right? We better serve her really well. We better provide a great service. She better walk out looking fab, so that she thinks, well, that was great, I'm going to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So
right?
I love the RULE. I've never heard of that before, and I love that.
I made it up.
Well, I need to pick your brain a little bit more then, Bridget, because I really, really love that. I love the legendary service bit. I mean, it's awesome. So Asti, though, I just want to kind of flip to you a second. Now, you are a female sexual empowerment coach. You're not in the hair and beauty industry, but you work with high-performing people, high-performing successful entrepreneurs, predominantly pretty much all female. So how do you, it's interesting to get your take on this, because you're sort of looking through things from a different lens. How do you see business in general? How do you attract high-performing clients, or a better quality of clients, or not even the better quality, but the right type of clients for your business?
So first of all, what I've found that's really worked for me is to pinpoint what exactly is that better client. Like, how are they living their lives? What do they do for work? What are they spending their money on? Where do they spend their time? What are their values? What are their interests? You really need to get to know this person. What are their weaknesses? What do they desire? What do they want to get out of you? So what I found is the more you can get to know your ideal client, the more you can create content, you can show up and really, really speak to that person. If you're speaking really broad, it's not really resonating with anybody. So if you can really narrow it down and speak directly to that better client that you're trying to attract, they feel like you're personally talking to them and they get magnetized in by that.
Can I ask a question on that? Because it's so interesting. I think people feel like the safety net, the way to play it safe is to actually appeal to a broad audience. Like, oh, I'm not going to be polarizing. I'm just going to kind of keep it neutral. I'm going to try to appeal to everybody. But in my own experience and based on what you just said, Dan, that's actually the worst thing you can possibly do.
Totally. And I found that in my business when I first started, I felt the same way. I was like, if I'm going to cut it down just to women or just to sexuality or just to orgasms, I'm going to miss out on all these other people. But what really happened was I kept it so broad that people would just scroll through my content, through my Instagram feed and kind of just be like, yeah, okay, just another post. But when I really, really narrowed it down and I was talking to that one in particular woman, she would read through my posts and it was like I was speaking directly to her. And as soon as I switched that and started doing that, I had tons of emails come in, tons of private messages, and everyone was like, oh my God, I feel like you're speaking directly at me. Like this program, this service is for me. And they can't say no to that.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen the same thing as well, where you get people inbox you on Instagram or Facebook or what have you, and they say, oh my God, every single time you post, it's like you're reading my mind.
Exactly.
And it's not like you're reading their mind. It's just that you know who your client is, right? You know who they are. And because you're talking their language, like you said before, it means they feel like you're reading their mind, but really it's just that you're on the same wavelength.
The other thing is you need to know what they want. So with my clients, they will come to me because they want to feel better about themselves. They want to feel more confident, but that's the same in the beauty industry. Like people want to get their hair done. They want to get their nails done. They want to fix their skin because they want to look more beautiful. But underneath that, it goes deeper. There's an emotional underlying element where really people just want to feel better about themselves. They want to feel confident. They want to feel worthy. They want to love themselves. So if you want to attract that client, you have to have everything that they want. You have to feel worthy. You have to be embodied in your power. You have to believe in your own beauty. And people can sense that and they'll be magnetized in towards you because of that. So if your client's coming and seeing you in the salon and you're living as the best version of yourself, oozing with self-love and confidence, they're not going to leave you just looking better externally, but your energy is going to fill them up internally as well.
Yeah. And do you agree with that?
And so they'll just want to keep coming back.
Yeah, 100%. Do you agree with that, Bridget, as well? Have we got Bridget still there? Oh, you're on mute again, Bridget.
I thought I'd better keep quiet here. You really have to be the person that you want to attract. So, and this is not happening in the industry. We've got a lot of therapists that don't look after their skins. We've got hairdressers with really big roots on their, in their hair, or they go to work with really scruffy and greasy hair. That can't happen. If you want people to spend that kind of money and be that kind of person, then you have to be that person first.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I think if I look at your content online, Bridget, and I look at certainly when I look at Asti's content online, even though I'm definitely not her target audience, there's it definitely ties into what, Bridget, you finished with, and that is consistency. And that's how you attract a better quality client, is being consistent with your message. Do you agree with that, Asti?
100%. 100%. And one more thing that I just want to add is it's important to stay in an abundance mindset. So if you have clients come up to you wanting to book in their hair and they can't afford it, not to get upset. Think like, okay, you're saying goodbye to this person, one door shuts, another one opens. Every time you turn someone down and they're not the right client for you, you're just making space for the people that are the right clients for you.
I love that. Awesome. So let's just change gears a second if we can, and I'm just going to flip to Sandy. Now, Sandy is the CEO of the Australian Hairdressing Council. I really didn't introduce Bridget and Asti very well before. I totally forgot to do that part. So I will introduce Sandy just super quick. She's the owner of Suki Hairdressing. She's had it for 35 years. She's also the CEO of the Australian Hairdressing Council. Sandy and I love my chats with Sandy because she's just so matter of fact. She keeps it very, very real and very, very honest. And so her opinion on the industry is not only comes from a place of honesty, but it also comes from a place of knowledge, because she represents all the stakeholders in the hair industry and also parts of the beauty industry as well. So welcome to the training, Sandy. And I want to ask you a question about pricing, because recently you and I did an interview and you said to me that we are our own worst enemy in the industry because we undervalue our services and therefore we undercharge what those services are actually worth. And so I want to kind of get your take on that and elaborate a little bit on that. And so how do people charge correctly? How do people price their services correctly to run a salon for 35 years and to obviously make profit?
I think first of all, I think most or many people in business just really don't actually understand the business of business. And I think that if you're in business, then there's a certain amount of responsibility and accountability that comes with that. And I guess one thing that I always actually encourage is to continually do a business plan and have a look at not so much where you're at right now, but where you want to be. So most salons sort of they choose their prices not around what they need to charge, but what everyone is charging around them. And so, you know, down the road, it might be $50 for a haircut or $80 for a haircut or $99 or whatever. And so they do like these comparison prices. And, you know, for my own business, I've never really done that. I always feel that, you know, you always need to have a much higher goal or a much, I guess, higher intention. So if your salon, if your business is doing 500,000 a year and you actually want to do 550, or if it's 1 million, you want to do 1,000,001, you do have to be realistic. But what I think that most don't do is they don't look at the available labor hours that they have to actually achieve that result. So most businesses, whether it's beauty, and I've also had beauty, by the way, for anyone who is listening, we had beauty for 15 years, so I understand both industries. But I think you know, many coaches will actually say when it comes to commission structures, for instance, that you would pay your staff 3 times their wage. And I have never done that because that was fine probably 25, 30 years ago. But for me, when we look at prices, we look at how much we need to turn over for the year. I take the available labor hours of only the employees who actually turn over money. I multiply that by 46 weeks to allow for downtime. No shows are also downtime. You know, personal leave, compassionate leave, holidays, public holidays, whatever. Then I break that down to an hourly rate by dividing that 46 weeks into the outcome that you would want, and I come up with an hourly rate. And with that hourly rate is actually how I choose what we need to charge per hour. But I also add on profit and also productivity. So I don't know if that just helped or confused everyone, but I go for the much bigger picture and then I actually work my way back, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, even through our own coaching clients and people I do consultations with, I hear it all the time. It's like, how did you figure out your pricing structure? And they go, well, I just looked at the competition and then I didn't want to be too expensive and I didn't want to be too cheap. So I just kind of sit myself in the middle. Yeah. And there's that saying in business, there's nothing more, there's no benefits in being the second cheapest in town. And it's like, there's not, like, you're either the cheapest and most people will go to you then, or there's no point in battling it out with the majority, and especially being an average price. So it makes perfect sense to me. Is there a simplified way of breaking that down, Sandy?
Of breaking down, well, I think the simplified plan is to actually break down your hourly rate and then start to charge accordingly.
How do they do that? How do they break down their hourly rate?
Well, if you are doing $1 million and you've got X amount of stylists or beauty therapists who are turning over dollars, then you would take the available labor hours in the week, multiply that by 46 weeks, divide that into the turnover that you feel you should or can do, and it needs to be realistic. So if you're doing 1 million and you go, well, I think I'll do 2 million, that's not going to make sense. Yeah. And then I would break that down into an hourly rate per day. And when it comes to commission as well, that's how we work out our commissions. Now, the hourly rate is going to be higher than what you would charge for a haircut. But if you're going to have a salon that just runs on haircuts, then you're not going to make a profit. So it's got to be based on haircuts, plus also add-on services, whether it is balayage or whether it is colours or whether it's retail treatments, etc. In the hairdressing industry, and I'm sure the beauty industry is no different, retail is, you know, very low in hairdressing. We sit about 6 to 12% of our turnover in retail, whereas mine is
higher in. It's definitely higher in the beauty industry. I think most salons would sit about 30 to 30%, 20 to 30%.
Yeah, and are you happy with that? Because wouldn't it be better if it was higher? You know, whereas with hairdressing, it's one of our big biggest weaknesses. And what the other ladies were talking about before, which I agree with, you know, everything comes down to brand, and then that does allow you to charge more. So you're either the cheap brand or you're not the cheap brand. And if you can identify your point of difference and target that, then yes, you can charge more. But for me, I guess when I look at my business, I look at all my costs. I think most businesses don't actually understand what their KPI should be or their costs are. And then I always break that down. I look at my P&L monthly and I break it down by percentages versus just the numbers, because I'm a hairdresser, so I'm visual. So I like to see exactly where everything is sitting all times. So I guess in answer to your question, it's not just a matter of picking an amount out of the air or checking out what your competition is doing, but actually understanding your own business, how much it costs you, and understanding every area of that until you get to the point of what is my break even, what do I need to do to open my doors plus more, and then come up with your hourly rate.
Awesome, awesome. So if you have any questions about what Sandy was just saying, I'm going to move on just for a second and get Toby and Elle's perspective on a couple of things. But if you do have any questions about what Sandy was just saying, because so it is an area I definitely 100% think in the hair and beauty industry, especially, that people just don't have a generalized, I'm generalizing here based on my own conversation and experience. They don't spend a lot of time on their numbers, and they don't understand how to price their services correctly because they don't understand their numbers first and foremost. So I think the way Sandy just broke it down then is really, really good. But if you do have any questions about that particular topic, please make sure you hit them into the question window right now. Make sure we'll capture them, like I said at the start, and we'll revisit Sandy in a second after we finished and get her to elaborate a little bit more. So I do want to move on though to Toby and Elle. You guys have two international brands. You obviously, you have a coaching and mentoring business as well. You've been hugely successful for a long, long time. And one of the things that I enjoy when we have a chat is your outlook on life as in general. And it seems to me like you're always trying to put mindset and you know, the way you feel and not really separating business and emotion like a lot of people do, but kind of like using your emotions to fuel in business. So I want to talk about that a little bit if I can, and how do we create a positive salon culture? Because you know what, if we price our services correctly, we get the consistency like Bridget was talking about, you know, we know who we are like Asti was talking about, but we have a bunch of people who all just sort of, you know, loggerheads in the business, and there's just this toxic environment, then eventually everything's going to fall apart. So Toby and Elle, in your experience, how do you create a better positive salon culture?
Shall I go first? Yeah.
Sure.
I think that I've just loved listening to everyone, actually. It's been really beautiful. It's just amazing. And, pardon?
Sorry.
Oh, the camera. Oh, sorry. I'll look at the camera. And I'm just looking down at everyone there. So I'll look up here. And I think this topic is almost like one of my favorites, because it's about your evolution. It really is about you. If you want to lead people, then you need to know that you need to become someone that people want to be led by. And I think we have this idea in our minds. And I was in a salon since I was 21 years old. I owned my own salon, and I've been in the industry for over 35 years. So, you know, for me, I remember a time when I really believed genuinely inside myself that my teams, my staff had to literally just do what they were told because I was paying them. And, you know, when I went through my huge transformation within, and I started to realize, well, that doesn't make any sense. You know, people have to have a purpose, just like we have to have a purpose as a salon owner. And we have to know what is our true purpose inside, what makes us feel connected to ourselves, to our higher selves, to the universe. What is it that makes other people attracted to us, so really good people want to come and work for us? So, you know, when we really look at that, if you want to build out a beautiful culture inside of your salon, one of the things that you need to do is say yes, absolutely, definitely say yes to your inner growth, and really finding out who you truly, really are. You know, and I've been doing a lot of teaching lately about the black line, and I'm not going to talk about it now, but it's very exciting. And it's really about being above the black line. You really have to bring in the goodness. You know, you have to care about your teams, not your staff. You can't call them staff, because then you're separate from them. When you're a team leader, and when you speak about them as your team, you really are creating a connection. And one of the things I love about branding, which I absolutely, you know, that's so important, because within your branding, all of your values. That's where you really are, you know, what you care about, what you love, what impacts you, you know, what's really, really important to you is in your branding. And you really want your team to connect to your brand. You don't want them to really connect to you, because then you've got all these human issues and patterns. But when they connect to your brand and they love what they're coming to work for every day, that is just fantastic. So it all comes back to that, you know, and it comes back to never, ever being afraid to grow, to be vulnerable, to really step up within and be someone that people want to be led by. They want to be like you. They aspire to the qualities and the demonstration of goodness and love and care that you are displaying to them every single day, you know. And it's so important. We don't look at it like that. And it was wonderful what Asti was saying before, because, you know, she's talking about frequency, she's talking about vibration, she's talking about where you're resonating, and you will attract where you resonate. That is just universal law. You can't escape that.
And,
you know,
and
so
obviously Asti was talking about with clients, you know, if a client leaves you, having the abundance mentality that there's another one there making space. But that's also the case, like you're saying, with staff, right? Or your team, like you were saying, you have to have, you will attract the right type of person into your business, not just with clients, but with your team.
Well, I think that absolutely. And Toby, you had some really great points. I won't just keep going on. I'll pass it across. But yes, absolutely. And you know, there may be even a growth opportunity. You might attract someone that's just almost, you know, there, but together you've got something to learn. And it's all about growth, evolution, learning. You know, just it's so beautiful. It becomes such an adventure. And then we're not up against our teams. We're actually really in motion with them. And I think it's just amazing. And I think that's a really beautiful way to bring joy into our businesses again, and release all that stress and just connect. But
yeah. So what do you think about this, Toby?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with what Elle's saying, and I think that part of like bringing down to the practical level, having your teams connected to something bigger than you as an individual, connecting them to a brand that actually has values, that actually has a cause or a movement or meaning that is beyond what the individual task at hand is. Like, for example, in our business, we train in natural brow restoration, and the girls who come in, their team members end up being connected to the movement of saving the woman's natural brow. So that's just one example, but it doesn't really matter what it is specifically. To actually implement this in a more I guess structured way is to remove some level of subjectivity from the equation of managing staff. And part of building a brand and having them attached to the brand is actually making their relationship with the business more objective. So instead of making personal judgments in your business and saying to a team member, look, you know, I really don't feel like you performed that well last week, we had this and this, straight away there's an emotional conflict because the team member feels judged. If the salon owner can either feel underconfident to even confront the team member, or they may be overconfident and may be sort of domineering. But when we have an objective set of sort of guidelines and rules that you run your salon by, you actually start to sit down and have team meetings, and you're actually measuring against an objective measure. You're not dealing with people, so there's these personal emotional issues. You've actually got objective criteria. And I think what that also does is that it offers the team members a sense of safety, because they know the rules of the game. Yeah. They actually know what the performance standards are, and they know what's expected of them and what's not. So it becomes clear.
Can I just
with clarity, it's just fuel for a great culture.
Yeah, it's such a good point that you just made, because so many people who are scared to put in, you know, KPIs or performance measuring sort of standards or whatever you want to call them, because they're afraid that will have a negative impact on the business. But if I'm right in what you're saying, is that by having those standards and implementing the rules of the game so people know whether or not they're on the good side or the bad side, that actually creates a better, positive salon culture, because like you said, people know where they stand.
Exactly. It does the exact opposite. And obviously, you can run by numbers. You can run a business by numbers, and it can be like a prison cell or a concentration camp. It's not necessarily, but the way in which it's actually delivered. I mean, there's many methods. There's probably too many to go through now, but you can actually hold people accountable in a way that's very, very soft management, but very, very powerful in terms of influencing team behavior, influencing an individual's behavior.
Yeah, and if we want to know a little bit more about that, again, right in the questions right now, we're going to come back to Toby and Elle as soon as the Q&A opens up in a second. And so I'd love to. I'm specifically interested in that, like all these different types of strategies.
Billy, could I just say one last thing, if you don't mind, just quickly? I think that, I get to speak to so many salon owners around the world. And, at times I even open up my calendar just because I want to find out what's going on out there. I want to talk to them. I love that. So, one of the things that it's really surprised me is how many salon owners will not grow teams anymore. And because they're just so afraid. And I would, I just think that this is a beautiful topic that you gave us. Thank you so much, because, there's just absolutely no need to be afraid, because, it's just such an exciting thing when you know how to do it. And so I just want to throw that in, because I hear it so often, and it really surprises me,
And I guess like anything, Elle, it comes with practice. You can't expect that, I listened to Toby and Elle tonight, and so tomorrow I'm going to go in and I'm just going to be this person. It's like you've got to build yourself. You've got to work on that every single day. It's like going to the gym, right? You're not just going to be perfect at it just because you listen to Elle and Toby talk about it tonight. You have to work on that yourself.
Yes, I agree.
Sure, but there's very specific methods that are going to help it along.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of paths, but if I really think about it, I would say that there's just one true path, and if you go down that one, you don't have to have a business that burdens you and teams that burden you. You can actually be extremely happy and bring the joy back. I just think it's really important.
Yeah, I think that last sentence where you said you don't have to have a business that burdens you. I think a lot of people listen to that and just go, I don't. Like, there's so many people in that state where they go,
surprise, isn't it?
What?
So I just love it so much listening to all of this so far. And I want to flip now, if I can, to Larissa and Tara. And to round off the training component and then we're going to move into the Q&A. So like I said, keep flooding us with all your questions, because we want to answer as many as we can as soon as we open up the Q&A. The last point, I guess, we've spoken about the emotion, we've spoken about the consistency, we've spoken about the level of service you have to provide. We've spoken about how to price your business correctly and maximize things like that. But then if you bring all of this together now, ultimately owning a business is, in order to have that business sustainable, you have to be making money, right? There's anyone who says otherwise, unless you're a not-for-profit. But obviously most of the people, if not all the people in the hair and beauty industry, you run small businesses or you run medium-sized businesses, and you have to make profit in order to maintain the business and keep it pushing forward. So Larissa and Tara, I'm going to start with Larissa if I can. I want to know how it is that we maximize our profits, right? Everyone who gets into business, they always say the same two things. I got into business to have more time and more money. And then you ask them about, how's that going for you? And it's kind of like, well, I'm making less money and I've got less time. So how do we make more money then? How do we maximize our profits? And I know a lot of people, it's not the measurement of success is making money. I get that. But at the end of the day, if we don't make money, if we don't make profit, then we can't keep operating our business. So Larissa, you ran a salon that turned over $2 million. You had 30 staff when you sold it. You're over the ditch in New Zealand, so you have a little bit of different perspective, but it's pretty much the same. It's basically an extra state of Australia.
Thanks for that.
So how do we though? How did you do it in your business? And obviously you have your own coaching program now. And so how do you teach your clients, and how did you do it in your own business? How do you maximize the profit in your salon?
I think it's a really good question, and you led into that really well, because I think profit actually is a choice. You need to just first decide that you want to make a profit, and that you need to decide to make that the top priority. And if that is the priority, that that's what you will do. Because I think one of the things I see the most is that people forget that they're in business to make a profit, or they feel bad about making a profit, or feel bad about making more than their staff members when they see their staff working hard. But nobody wants to turn up to a business and work for free, because it's not motivating. It's not what we got into business for. So we need to choose to make a profit. I think that's the first thing. And I used to have the saying in my business, when I made this choice, it was a conscious choice. And I remember the day that I made it, and I decided profit was king, and it was going to trump everything else. And that was my priority. And it didn't mean that my quality of service went down. It didn't mean I looked after my staff any less, but it meant that I prioritized those choices that I made inside of my business, and that I deserved to have a profitable business. And so that's I think my first tip. My second tip is understanding what is profit. Now, it sounds really obvious, and any accountant will tell you what that is, but I actually think you've got to separate yourself as an employee, as a manager, and as a CEO. And there are 3 different roles inside of your business, and each one of them needs to be paid. And I think too often we make the mistake that if we're working in our business and we're servicing clients and our business is making a profit, we think, yay, we're making a profit, but actually we're just paying ourselves wages. And we forget to separate what is the wage that I'm paying myself as an income generating person, whether it's a therapist or a stylist, whatever it is that you're doing. If you had to replace yourself, you would pay somebody market wages. So you need to pay yourself market wages just like you would any other employee.
Absolutely.
And then have a look to see if you're making profit. And if you step into the manager's role, well, if you were paying anybody else to be a manager, you would be paying them management wages. So can your business sustain a manager? And then, of course, there's this person, this other part of you, because we have multiple pieces, that is the person that chose to go into business, the CEO, the owner, the investor, the entrepreneur. That person's got to get dividends too. That person's got to get paid at some point too. And when you look at your business from that point and decide that the investor is going to get some payback, that's when you start to have a smart and profitable business. And so my last tip is that you only have 100% of everything that you make. And so you have to make the numbers work within that 100%, because you can't have more. So take a profit first approach. And that doesn't mean that you're greedy or that you're ripping anybody off or that you're mean to your staff. It just means that you're building a sustainable business that's going to be there, not only for you to provide yourself a lifestyle, but for your team. They need to have a job tomorrow, and so do your clients. You need to have a business that's going to continue to be open to continue to service the clients. So you only have 100%. Decide what it is that you want to earn for your profit. Pay the stylist, pay the manager, choose your CEO dividends, and then whatever is left, you've got to fit into that 100%. And if you do that and you're disciplined and you look at your numbers every day, like I look at my P&L every week. And I go and check in at the same day every week. I am disciplined around that, not because I'm greedy, but because I need to know my numbers, and I need to know early if I need to pivot or I need to change something. I'm not going to make budget, or I'm spending too much. And so I look at it every day rather than put your head in the sand and just hope you make profit. So profit is a choice, and you need to do it with intention.
Larissa, you're talking my language. Do you know, it sounds so ridiculous when I say it out loud, but sometimes I'm too nervous about putting a cash emoji into my ad copy or my Facebook post, because I feel like there really is a mindset in the industry where people are too scared to admit they want to make money, or they feel like making money is a bad thing. I don't know, or you look at different industries where I speak to different people, and it's like, no, it's all about the money. And I get it that there's different type of people, different industry, but there's a difference between not making money your sole reason for doing what you're doing, but then having a negative relationship with money. And there needs to be a difference there. You can't have a negative relationship with money and be in business, is my thoughts. And so I want to flip it to Tara, if I can, and ask you, do you agree with what Larissa just said? And what's your own take on how to maximize profits in your business?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with everything that Larissa has said. And in fact, we actually had a little chat this afternoon before we got on, and, kind of we're talking about it and had a bit of a giggle that you had kind of put us together because we both wear the same kind of hat and the same passion for profit in business. And, just adding on to what Larissa had said, one of the biggest things I've come across now being a coach is recognizing that there are so many business owners out there that don't know their numbers. They don't know whether they're making a profit, whether they're making a loss. They don't know how much it costs them an hour to run their business, let alone how much it costs them a month to run the business. And I think it's so, so important that business owners out there can understand what their break even is, so that they can break it down to, hourly, right down to the minute, and then they can set their pricing correctly as well so that they can ensure that they're turning a profit. But looking at all different aspects of their business as well for profitability, making sure that they have an awesome team who understands sales in the business as well too, is super, super important, because without, we don't get taught at beauty school or in our apprenticeship how to, sell retail. That's left up to our product reps to kind of teach that to us. And it's more about the ingredients in the product than about how to actually sell as a salesperson to clients. So, I know I've spent a lot of time, again, educating our clients on how to sell to their clients as well too. Managing costs in your business is really important as well. Just because there is beautiful, fancy things at Kmart or Freedom or Spotlight that you want to buy for your business, and there's money in the bank account, don't go and buy it. It has to be in your budget for you to go and buy it. You need to be really respectful, of your money in your business so that you have profits there at the end of the week and the end of the month. And boosting productivity from your staff, have your KPIs set in place so your team know as well what's on the agenda. What is it that they need to be making in your business to make a profit too? And someone gave me a really good tip once, and I follow this tip now. And it's that the first thing about having profit in your business is that you need to respect money. And that starts from, if you are the kind of person who has cash, is making sure that if you pull cash out of the ATM when you're putting it in your purse or your wallet, is have your notes all the same way round, in order, the $5 note with the $5 note, the $50 note with the $50 note, and respect of money is probably one of the first things that you can have to then having a really profitable business as well too, because if you don't respect money, you're not going to have profit in your business.
Awesome. I definitely love that, and I can see that. So one of the things we've had some. This is our first time doing this formatting, and the chat box is not working live on your screen, but we can see it from our end on the back end. So we're seeing all these questions coming in. You can't see it from your end. But as soon as you guys are talking now about profit, there's all these questions coming in. So I really want to address this. And I think I don't know whether or not people could see my face when you were talking, Tara, but because we work so closely together, obviously we work in the same office. As you're saying things are like about sticking to budget and whatnot, I had a little bit of a smirk on my face, because you know what? I think being part of being a leader is also admitting your weaknesses and your deficiencies, as well as trying to show that you're the best at everything. And certainly sticking to a budget and really being accountable for every dollar and cent is something I wish I was more like Larissa and Tara with, because I have these ideas and I just want to go, and I think that's half the battle. But so Larissa, you spoke about visiting your profit and loss weekly. Sandy said she visited hers monthly. Tara, what's your recommendation? How often do you look at your profit and loss?
If you're learning your numbers and you're the kind of person who sticks your head in the sand because you're too scared to look at them, you need to look at them on a daily basis. You need to look at them in the morning, in the afternoon, and you need to get your team in a routine of doing that as well with what they're making. They should be tracking their numbers on an hourly basis so that they're just as accountable for what's coming through the doors as what you are as the owner.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. So with all that being said, I really, really enjoyed that little component. Not little component, it's gone for 45 minutes now. Every single there's so many nuggets in that, from Bridget Nasty all the way through to Tara and Larissa. There's so many nuggets that were provided in that. And if you took notes during those sessions and you look at it and you compare it to how your business is operating at the moment, you need to start to implement these things. There was a video I did the other week that my guy Jordan, my video guy, he created a meme out of it. And it was like, you don't want to be the serial Tony Robbins guy who just keeps going to Tony Robbins events all the time, every single year, like 10 times a year. And you learn all these things, but you never actually implement and action them. you have to actually take notes based on what we just said. And we're going to open it up to a Q&A panel now, which is really exciting. I love the Q&A component. And you really need to make sure you take notes, but then tomorrow go into your business and actually look at your business and start to see, where are my deficiencies and how can I plug these holes? And the information you just got given by these amazing entrepreneurs is so valuable to how you can increase the performance of your own business. And so some of the questions, I'm going to quickly look at my laptop right now. And
actually, can I just clarify something?
Yeah, go for it.
So I will say I do look at my P&L monthly, because I do a monthly P&L, but we have a cash flow and a budget up all day long. So a P&L is sort of after the event, whereas the cash flow and the budget is as it's happening. So we have that up on our desktop, okay, in my home office, and that is all day long while we're operating.
Awesome.
So as far as being on top of figures, then that's how we do it.
Perfect, perfect. Well, since you have the floor at the moment, Sandy, I'm going to open up a question that's come through from an S. Lee. I think it's S. Lee. She says, I live in a low socioeconomic area. How do I increase my prices if my demographic don't have the money?
That question is to me?
Yeah, well, let's go with you, yeah, because you're speaking about finance and pricing and things. So yeah, let's start with you.
Well, I think you have to understand what you need to charge. Obviously, it's what I was talking about before. I actually never use the word increase too, by the way. I always use the word that our prices have been adjusted, because we will adjust our prices every year. I don't have a problem with adjusting prices. And I always find this an interesting question with respect to the person who's asked it, because I don't find it a hard thing to do. I think that the person putting the prices up is the one that's sitting in a bit of fear. But I find that if you value your services and it's very obvious what you do offer in your community, and you can make it that very clear in your community that what your services do include, then I don't think that you have a problem adjusting the prices, whether it's $1 or $2 or whether it's 1%. We were discussing yesterday the best time to adjust prices. It's often around October. You wouldn't do it at the beginning of the year or in February when credit cards from Christmas come in and school fees, etc. But they often say October is a really good time to adjust prices. And I wouldn't make excuses for it. I wouldn't put a sign up and say, I'm really sorry, guys, because it's just a fact of life that we all have to adjust prices at some point. So no apologies for saying, the prices have gone up. They haven't. You've just adjusted them.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with that. You don't see Woolworths when they put the price of milk up having this big display going, sorry, we put the price of milk up. It's just the price has gone up. It's just the way it is. And you don't have to apologize. Does anyone, let me ask, who should I ask on that one? Larissa, do you feel the same about price increases?
About being fearful for putting them up?
Yeah, let's do with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I too never apologize, never give warning. We just did it. And I always had a little backup trick if we're putting prices up and making the change, is that I prepare my staff for objections. People didn't bring enough in their wallet, didn't budget for it, whatever the objection. You want to have a business that is accommodating, and it's really nice to be part of that brand and that experience. And so having a price challenge or conversation over the desk is awkward for everybody. So I always gave my team permission to, if somebody had an objection when the price went up, say, don't worry, it's no problem. We'll do the old price today, so you know for next time, this is what it's going to be. And I think just on that low socioeconomic topic, if there's a challenge around charging enough, I think, your first challenge is always getting people in the door. So the first challenge that you want to overcome is, how do you get people in? So price accordingly for your, I guess the supermarkets call it lost leaders. What do you do to get what's the primary service that brings people in the door and in bums and seats? And then for those that are going to become good clients, you can upsell them, side sell them, develop their service, give them a year's plan, and increase your average client bill that way. If getting the people in the door for being too high priced is the first thing. We've got to remember that we can do that to get somebody in the seat, because that's not the only time they're coming. We're in for the long haul. We're in for the dating and the marriage game, not just for a one-night stand.
I like that. All right, moving to a new question. It's from Carly. Her name's Carly.
Billy.
Yes, go for it.
I just want to have my 2 cents worth on that topic.
No, you're not allowed. Moving on. No, totally. Go for it.
Okay, just really very quickly. I totally understand what S. Lee said. And I totally empathize with it. But what you've got to really truly understand is that everybody has different priorities. Everybody spends their money differently. It's not about I have a lot of money so I can afford it, or I don't have a lot of money, I can't afford it. It's what every individual decides to prioritize. So you need to seek the people that prioritize skin or hair, if that's what your business is. And the only way that you can prove to them that your price is right is to prove that the value is greater than the cost.
Oh, I love
right?
that. Love
so
it.
that is what your job is to, no matter what it is, no matter how much that product or treatment costs, you want to show them that what they get in return for it is greater.
100%.
So it's always talking about the results, what they get in the end.
Perfect. Love that answer. And so, so Carly has asked the question, it's a simple question. How do I get out of my own way? And so it's a broad question, but I think everybody knows what it means. And I'm going to flip this one to Asti if I can to start with. Asti, there's no one who's been asked specifically to answer this question, so I'm just going to flip it to Asti. How do I get out of my own way?
Okay, first of all, I would ask, what is that block? What are you holding yourself back from? What's on the other side of that fear? You need to ask yourself, is it about having the money? Is it about not being good enough? Tapping into what that self-doubt is, and then just reassuring yourself that you have what it takes. And the only way that you can get out of your own way is to face that fear full on. You just have to break through it.
Okay, awesome. So acknowledging the fear first.
It's a bit of a broad question.
It's absolutely a broad question, but it's interesting because it comes up a fair bit. It's like, I just feel like I'm getting in my own way all the time. And I think it comes down to mindset. It's exactly what you just touched on with the fear. Does anyone else have any
and
insight?
to notice what your excuses are. Does it always come back to I'm not good enough? Does it always come back to I'm not worthy? Does it come back to money? People will always have the same excuse that comes up time and time and time again. So you need to catch yourself and catch on to what that limiting belief is, first and foremost.
Can I have a little say about this?
Of course you can. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That was lovely, Asti. Is that okay, Billy, if I share something?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
I think that the first thing you have to do is change your relationship to your thinking. And that is the most powerful thing we can a human being can do, is if you change the relationship to your thoughts and your thinking, immediately you change your relationship to fear. Because, there is that side of things where we can continue to just go back and change beliefs. Oh, and there's another one and another one. You're going to have them for the rest of your life. But if you change your relationship to your thinking, then you change your relationship to everything. So in other words, just because a thought comes up, it doesn't mean that thought is true. It doesn't mean it's real. If you give it your power, because for some reason you have an investment and there's a part in all of us that wants to be limited. There is that exists in us. So it's kind of like bringing that up, looking at it, straight at it, and just acknowledging that and moving your power, your inner compass, like really moving your power to what it is that you actually really, truly want. Yeah. So you have to ask yourself, person that gets in your way all the time. Who was it? Carly. Yeah. Carly. If you ask yourself, what do I really want? Like, what makes my heart sing? Like, what do I want more than fear? And just keep your inner, if the fear comes up, your thought comes up, right, and then you just turn your inner compass, you turn your power, and you give it a right back. You just bring it back to what you want. Now, not just what you want, like you want to feel it in your body. You want what you want to absolutely be just in all of you.
Yeah. And I think it comes back to actually what Bridget said as well, because Bridget was saying, if people say they can't afford it, and you just got to add the value of the product so that it shows them, well, the value is actually worth it. I think it's the same thing if you feel like you can't do it or you have that fear, if you add enough weight to the value of why you do it, then you overcome that fear. It's just simple.
Well, I think also too with people that say they're in low social economic areas and things like that. If what about that dress that you see in the window that you really just can't afford, But you know what? It is just so spectacular. You can't get it out of your head. It's kind of like you're gonna buy it. It doesn't matter what it costs.
Yeah,
So
I've never personally had that experience with a dress, but
I know, Billy. I'm not talking about you, but I get all time. It's like that for women. You see a pair of shoes or a dress or whatever. If you give those clients, even in that area, what they really want that no one else is giving them, they're going to come to you, and they'll pay you too. They actually will pay you for what you can offer them. So I think that's
There's
All
also,
right,
if I could just add one thing, Belly.
Can I just add, Billy?
We all want to add now.
I need to add my 2 cents worth on that one.
We'll come back to it, Bridget. Let me ask another question because we're going to run out of time otherwise. I will come back to it if we have time. But someone has asked a question I think is relevant to a lot of people who are definitely on the panel. Is by Jade, and it's specifically asked of Tara. Obviously, this person must know you, Tara, or they know a little bit about you. They said they know that you have 2 children. How do you be so successful essentially as an entrepreneur and not have mum guilt?
I have mum guilt every day. I'm just really good at managing it. To be really honest, a lot of people will do things like they want to go to the gym or they'll want to go to a music concert. But my priority has always been my children, and they're the reason I get out of bed in the morning. They're the reason that I want to succeed in my business. And I think if you want anything bad enough, you make it happen. So I don't miss soccer games. I often miss soccer training, which is okay coming into winter. But I don't miss the dance recitals. I don't miss the sports carnivals at school. I'm lucky that I've created a lifestyle for myself where I can be there for those things, and it's a choice that I make to make that my priority. I think it was Bridget who might have said earlier about we make choices, and that's just what I do. I'm always going to be a mum first and foremost, and a business owner and an entrepreneur second. And I don't know whether everybody will agree with me on that, but if it wasn't for my kids, I probably wouldn't be the business owner and the entrepreneur that I am. Because I
think Toby would disagree about being a mum first, but I think that a lot of the other panelists may agree. Does anyone else have any input or insight into the mum guilt thing? Because it does come up a lot with my own coaching clients.
I've actually, can I just, I don't want to speak too much, but I'll share. I have quite a few blogs that I've written and videos that I did just on parenting and on that guilt, and people are free to go and listen to them. And I think I actually had something in a magazine recently just about parenting and being an entrepreneur, like a female entrepreneur. It's just such a big thing, and that was lovely, Tara. I fully am with you on being a mother first, and that that makes your heart happy, and you that's just beautiful.
Awesome. Anyone else on that one quickly?
I really appreciated that too, Tara, actually. And I kind of feel like I'm mum first, but I'm business right close in behind. Like I really feel tension for that, what comes first. So I choose not to have one that's first. But I also have built my business around being available and being present for my children first and foremost. So again, it's choosing to build a lifestyle around my family, but that puts pressure on my business. But it's actually good pressure because it means that I have to pick and choose what it is that I do in my business and where I show up in my business. And I will only do the things that I can only do. And if somebody else can do it, then I have to get somebody else to do it. Because one of my personal rules is I work 9 till 3. And sometimes I'll come back sort of 4:30 to 5 before I cook dinner, and I'll check emails and I'll do a few things. And the odd night, like tonight and whatever, but I'm strict on myself, and it makes me a better business owner because I delegate well, I get out of my own way. I'm not the bottleneck inside of my business because I'm holding all the strings. So it forces me to be a better business owner. So I totally get that, and I can be. So I want to be able to, I want my cake and eat it too. I want to have a multi-million dollar business and work 9 till 3.
Well, there you go.
Going to stop me.
One more thing for Jade. One of the things that I do and on Sundays is I actually do a lot of meal prep for the week. And one of the things that my kids often say to me, like, you're such an awesome mum, is they get a cooked breakfast every morning. And I'm sure most people must think I get up at stupid o'clock to do that, but I don't. I pre-cook it all on a Sunday, and I like whip it out in the morning and chuck it in the microwave. And so they get like and I literally just whip it out and put it back in the fry pan or in the microwave, and they just think I'm super mum, and they tell all their friends about it too, which is great.
Do you know what's funny?
So cool.
We've had so much awesome content shared tonight, and you're last people in the morning. So what is the number one thing you remember from last night? And all the mums are like, Tara said to do this breakfast thing. It's like, it's always that one thing. There's nothing relevant to do with the topic, but that people remember. So it's an awesome tip. Bridget, we've got a question specifically to you from Elaine. I don't know if you know this person or not, but she says, with huge caps lock and a lot of exclamation marks at the end, how the heck do you get beauty therapists to make $200 an hour? Oh, you're on mute again. You know what? It was going to happen 3 times. You're done now. Just get it all out.
You know what? I'm actually doing what I complain the most that people do with me on Zoom. So I'm sorry about that. It's a really, really good question. So nothing is by accident. Everything is by design. So to be able to sell skincare, we were talking about productivity with retail before. You guys said 20%, 5% and whatever. In beauty, it must be 50%. It must be 50%. Highly profitable salons are producing 50%. And it goes around, because the thing is, if a client doesn't have a full skincare regime going on at home, then the treatments aren't going to work, right? So it just feeds itself. And so high performing salons that produce in excess of 200, and I've got clients even more than that, therapists that actually really do understand that one can't go without the other and it be sustained. We can't provide our clients with results on treatment only. And I'm sure it's the same with hair. Like if you're coloring hair all of the time, you have to get your clients to look after their hair at home. So it's making sure that the client has a full service and takes home the full result and continues it. I was talking to a client only yesterday morning who was saying to me, Bridget, I am just so happy. We are finally 3 months in hitting 40,000 a week. 5 therapists, 40,000 a week. That means each therapist is making $8,000 each. Consistently, and they're pre-booked. So 3 weeks in advance, they're booked. Now, if that's the case, they can't be pushy, hey? If people keep coming back, then you can't be considered pushy. So how does that happen? It's by providing the result that people actually come in for. That's what they're coming in for. At the end of the day, they want nothing else but a result. Now, I'm going to throw in my quick example before, because we're talking about dresses, right? We're talking about priorities.
We're back at dresses. Okay, yep.
Right? Yep. And the thing is, it's about priorities and the perception of priorities. So we might think, all the women here might think that a dress to wear on a Saturday night for $500 is a lot of money. Would a lot of us agree with that? Just to wear a dress, just $500, it's a lot of money. And we would cringe at that. The priority is that's just too much money. But the very same women will spend $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 on one dress they'll only wear once for their wedding. Priorities shift. So everything is about, what does the client actually want? If it's a wedding dress, it's actually worth $8,000. If it's just a dress for Saturday night, no, I'm not going to spend more than $100. And so we have to learn to understand what are our clients' priorities and how are we going to feed that.
I love that example. That's a great example. Moving on, if I can, to Sandy. There's a question here. I don't know if it's Mary or Marie. I'm not sure which one it is, but she has asked, what are your top 3 things that you've done in your business to have your salon? Basically, it's a long-winded question. I'm going to paraphrase it. To have your business for 35 years. What are the 3 things that you've done in your business to keep your business for 35 years?
Well, all my senior stylists have been with me for over 10 years. So in the conversations that were on before about culture, I think are really important. I think probably the first one is that we involve our staff a lot in all decisions. So I believe in a higher involvement equals a higher commitment. So I do meet up with all of my senior staff twice a year, where we go to dinner and we actually plan the next 6 months. And then we also meet up with all of our apprentices. We invest heavily in our apprentices as well. So the first one is all about culture, creating the right culture. And understanding that those who work with us also represent our brand. We find out, I think number 2 is finding out what is important to our staff. And so the messages that come out to us is number 1 is wellness. And so say, for instance, for the entire month of May at the moment, we're catering for their lunches with vegetables and fruit and wraps.
Wow.
Next week we have Zumba on, we've had Feldenkrais, we've had yoga, we've got Pilates on, kinesiologist is coming in, etc. So the entire month of May is all about their wellness. We get in finance.
You're going to be inundated with job applications, by the way, after this.
Yeah, but see, we never poach. That's the other thing too, is we don't take anyone else's senior stylists. We train our own. So, there's a lot of complaint in our industry is how we can't get staff. But I think that many business owners actually forget that apprentices are their future of their business, and to invest in them and treat them well and pay them correctly and give them pay slips and pay their superannuation and be flexible. So in answer to your question, top 3, higher involvement is a higher commitment. Number 2 is find out why your staff get out of bed and why they want to come to work, and try and meet what their needs are. So in my case, it is all about lifestyle, yes, money. We also pay very high wages. We're very flexible, and we know that wellness and well-being and mindfulness is on their number 1 in working within our company. And then I guess the third one is we're actually incredibly structured. Everybody knows what they're meant to do. Everybody knows where they're meant to be, and we're structured with our commission structures, with our rewards, our incentives, and our bonuses. And so I'm going to throw a 4th one in there, and that is make it fun.
Make it fun. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more on that last one. Now, there's a question here. It's came through, and I'm hesitant to ask, but I'll ask because I actually have coaching clients of my own who ask this question or talk about this thing. Because there's only about 5 minutes left in the Q&A, and I know this is likely to cause a little bit of conversation. So with all that being said, I'm going to start it with Asti if I can. And it's around, I won't say the person's name just in case they don't want it mentioned, but they said, I've got an unsupportive partner. What do I do?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? It cut out.
I have an unsupportive partner. What do I do? And just to give you some context, if I can, in the hair and beauty industry, there's a lot of complaint, especially from salon owners whose partners see their business as a hobby job. Again, I'm generalizing massively here, and it's not to insult anybody, but this is what I get told a lot by a lot of different people, is their partners see their job as a hobby job. And oftentimes when they have these big goals and aspirations, they're not considered, serious in a lot of instances. And so, I guess that's maybe where the question is coming from, that they have these big goals and dreams, and they just have a partner who just doesn't see it and doesn't really want them to succeed.
I think it's really important to have a deep conversation around this. So to connect with your partner and to have a conversation on the deeper levels, so they can really understand your goals and your vision and your passion behind your business. And you don't want to be speaking from your head. You don't want to be speaking from ego. You don't want to be getting defensive. But what I always tell my clients to do before they have a conversation like this is to take a few deep breaths into their heart space and to speak from love. And instead of blaming and saying things like, you don't support me, you don't care about what I'm doing, I don't feel loved by you, you want to come down. Instead of pushing the blame, you want to come back to you and explain to them in the way that it's making you feel. So I don't feel supported by you, and I feel like we're not a team, and I love you, and your support would mean the world to me. You always want to speak from a place of how it's affecting you, rather than making them feel shit about being a bad partner.
Yeah, which is important, because then their defense is going to come up. Larissa, you spoke before about you have a good mix of family and business, and I see that a lot. I obviously follow you online with Instagram, and I see it in your stories. It's like 2 Instagram stories of business, 2 Instagram stories with my family, and it's kind of like you see this really nice balance. Has that been an important part of your own business journey, having support from your family?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like too, for a part of that journey, it was hard won, that support, because I guess my backstory is I come from being a bit of a workaholic. I love being in business.
I think everybody in the panel could agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you know, and then transition into family is challenging. It puts pressure on lots of different things as that changes. And so for me, to get that support, I felt I really had to fight for it for a little bit, because I was trying myself to get to a place of balance, and where everybody would win. My family would win, my partner would win, but I would also win. And so it's been a bit of a journey. So I've come from, actually, I won't tell you, I'll just go and do it and smash it in anyway. And then I'll tell you post-event how well I did, right, to actually learning to actually let my husband in and be really transparent. And I think I really resonated with what Asti said, where it's not about them. It's just actually sharing my journey and just talking really openly, and have no other agenda on my table other than just sharing that this is what happened to me today, and this is what I've chosen to do in my business, or this was the challenge that I had, and I tried to be present for the kids, but then the phone was ringing, or whatever was going on. And the more transparent and open I was with that, without an agenda, and not making it about him and how he was or wasn't supporting me, the more he came into my world and understood what I was trying to do and what I was doing, and then started to see the positive stuff. And now he's my number one supporter, and is right behind me in all the things that I do. And when I need to go and travel or do over those things, it's not a problem. Whereas it used to be a tension, because when I would need to go and do something for a business, it meant that there was a weight that we had to throw between the two of us. Yeah. And if I was over here, that means he had to hold it. And we were just juggling this heavy weight all the time. And so I guess, you know, be kind to yourself, and it's a journey if you've got a journey to change. And start with transparency and just sharing with no other agenda, I guess.
I love that.
I just want to add that for the last 7 years, I don't know if anyone here knows this, I was a stripper for 7 years. And if there's any industry where it's hard to have a partner that accepts you, this is it. Like, all women in that industry struggle to find a boyfriend, struggle to stay in a relationship. Obviously, a whole lot of triggers come up. And I had to work through this. And I just told myself, like, I'm worthy of having a partner. I'm going to find someone that accepts me. And because I stood so strongly in that belief, I met my match, and I met my partner, who I'm still with today, who supports me 100% in everything that I do.
Go you, go you. And
so if you believe in what you do, the people around you are just going to support you. If you're supporting yourself and you're 100% committed to that and committed to your vision, everyone else has no choice but to do the same.
And I think actually that brings us full cycle back to what we were starting with everything that Bridget was saying at the start and everything that follows through. It's just about consistency, about being genuine, authentic, all of those really strong values, believing in yourself and being true to who you are. And so what I want to do to wrap this Q&A section up is, firstly, I didn't even realize until Larissa said Asti's name that, and the way she said it, I remembered at that point that Asti is also a New Zealander as well. So we actually have 2 Kiwis on the broadcast tonight, which I would not have done if I had been mindful of that earlier. But in all seriousness, what I want to do just quickly, I want to give each of you 30 seconds if we can before we move into the last section of this evening's training session. I want to go through each one of you, and 30 seconds if you want to give a last little piece of advice or a last little nugget, whatever you want to say, or just a summary if you can from each person before we move into the last section. And we'll start with Bridget if we can. You're on mute. You know what the funny thing is, Bridget? At the start, you spoke about consistency, and you have been consistently leaving your microphone off tonight. So
at least I'm consistent.
Yeah, exactly right.
I'm so sorry about that. Apologies. I'm going to go back to identity. Figure out who you are. Who are you? And then work it out. And then let everybody know who you are, and then attract the people that believe what you believe, and then attract the clients who want what you want to sell.
Awesome. Larissa?
Mine is be kind to yourself. It's a journey. It's not a rush. It's not a race. Take your time and stay focused on what it is that you want, whatever that looks like. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do it. So yeah, be kind.
Elle and Toby, I'll give you both a session, a little opportunity here. So we'll start with you, Toby, if we can.
I would recommend to make a clear focus on making your differentiation real. There's 2 ways to persuade people to come to your business. One through is putting a big burden on marketing and the way that you sell yourself. The second way is to have authentic innovation that actually is different. It's meaningfully different. And then if you have that, then clarity itself becomes persuasion. So that's what I'd focus on.
Awesome. Elle?
I think that just to keep it really, really simple, just really notice like every day how much attention you put on what you don't want, and bring that, just start noticing that. And as you notice it, just turn to, really start asking yourself, what do I really want? And get so clear on that. And then just pull your attention away from what you don't want and make that like a practice in the beginning, because it really is. You have to practice and get really, really good at that. So just first start noticing how much you focus on what you don't want, and then just know what you want, and then just keep putting your attention and all of your heart, all of your soul, all the way to what it is that you actually all into what you actually really want. And I think that's really important, because it takes the stress off us. You just, and you deserve to be happy, not just to have successful businesses, you deserve to be happy.
You deserve to be happy. Tara?
Just be real, be authentic, and be yourself. And when things get hard, don't stick your head in the sand, and it's perfectly okay to seek out someone who perhaps has more knowledge than you and ask for help. And I know all of us here tonight have had a lot of experience in the hair and beauty and in the coaching industry, and there's some absolutely amazing people here. So just reach out, ask for help. Send one of us a message, pop it in one of our groups, and just ask. We're a massive big community, and we're all here to support you. And there's no need for you to feel like you're lonely at the top, because we're all here cheering you on.
Awesome. Who we got? Sandy? You're on mute. You did a Bridget.
Sorry, my apologies. My message would be to truly understand all aspects of your business. What you don't understand or what you can't do, then delegate. So that takes the pressure and also the stress from you as well. And I guess I am someone that really believes that if you want to be successful in the future, you need to invest in your staff, you need to take care of your staff, and you need to do the right thing by your staff as well as your business and your clients.
Love it. And last but not least, I think that's last but not least, we've been to everyone. Have we been to everyone? Yeah, Asti, right? Yeah, Asti.
Yeah. So keeping it short and sweet, I just want to remind everybody that how you're feeling is more important than what you're doing. So your internal world manifests and attracts your external world. So first and foremost, pay attention to what's going on in here. Your inner health matters most.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Look, we have been totally inundated with questions. I don't know how many people actually jumped on the webinar tonight. We still got a little section to go. Don't go away yet. I still got $2,500 of stuff to give to you, remember? So I don't know how many people are actually on the webinar. We'll get the data afterwards, but we've been inundated with questions. I'm so sorry that we have not got around to all of them. I think everybody on the panel would agree that's been pretty valuable, and that we can probably do this again because for me, it's all about serving. It's all about giving back. It's all about adding value to people's lives. And so I feel like we've done that, but it looks like we've only just scratched the surface because of the amount of questions and comments that have come through on our end. So if you do have any burning questions, you know what, like if you don't know how to contact any of the panelists, if you're like, oh, I want to speak to Bridget, but I don't know how to get hold of her, instead of me rattling off all the handles and stuff now from all the different social channels, just DM me and we'll distribute all of them. If you want to contact Asti, same deal, Tara, what have you. Tara's pretty easy. I can just walk next door and get her to message you. That's a pretty easy one. Even though she's not next door tonight, she's actually at her house tonight. But we can definitely do that, but it looks like we've just scratched the surface, and there's been so much interest, so many questions coming through. So I do apologize, we haven't got around to answering them. I kind of looked for the ones that were most quirky and the ones that would get the most interest and obviously some insights. But yeah, like I said, just DM me and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions or point you in the right direction to the people if you can't locate them. So the last part of the section tonight, the last part of the training session, I really hope that you've all enjoyed it tonight. I'm going to quickly share my screen if I can. And I'm going to ask my team to make sure that this works because I'm going to show you something on my screen. If my team can just let me know. Can you see my screen just change right now? Yeah? Black screen? Just still a black screen? All right. Okay, cool. And if I go like that, does that work?
Yep.
And is it the big screen now?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Let me know if it's gone big screen. Sorry guys, it'll be 2 seconds. Yeah, we're good. All right, we did it. This is our first time doing this, so I'm super pumped that all of this has worked tonight. I'm really excited. Okay, so let me ask you a question, right? Who's enjoyed this webinar and is excited to put this stuff in place? I know I have. I've been in business for 11 years now. I have worked with some really, really high-performing entrepreneurs, and even tonight, I say even tonight, but especially tonight, I should say, I have got so much from this, and I've been taking my own notes. I don't know if you can see here. I've been scribbling notes throughout, and I've been taking my own notes, and I'm super excited to put a lot of the content, some of these insights into my own business. But I also know that most people will feel like this. I smile to hide how completely overwhelmed I am. And that's really how most people feel after they have a session like this. We have tried to give you, like I said, decades into days is what Tony Robbins said. We've tried to say decades and condense it into 90 minutes. And it's really, really hard. And a lot of this stuff is broad overview stuff. I know each of the speakers definitely would have loved the opportunity. You could see that they were fighting to answer some questions. I had to kind of push them back a little bit. But I know they really want to do more of a deep dive into this. And so how do we do this? And so one of the things, obviously, I'm super passionate about right now is Salon Growth Con. And I want you to come to Salon Growth Con. There's no hiding that. And so for anybody who already has a ticket, you need to listen in right now because this is super important. If you don't have a ticket, then make sure you listen in as well. Like I said, I've got $2,500 worth of stuff to give you for free tonight. So tune in for the next 2 minutes. And if it's okay by you, if you can just let me know in the chat screen right now, just say, yes, Billy, that's fine. Just let me know right now. Is it okay if I quickly offer you something that's $2,500 and it's going to help you from feeling overwhelmed because it allows you to come to Salon Growth Con over 2 days with all of these speakers plus heaps more. You get to see Tabitha Coffey live. She's doing her own Q&A. So Tabitha Coffey is actually doing a 45-minute presentation and she's doing also a 15-minute Q&A. And if you have the right ticket, she's also doing a meet and greet afterwards as well. So you get your photo ops and all that sort of stuff. So super exciting there. Plus you get to see all of these amazing speakers you've seen tonight do a deep dive. They're going to do their own, I think it's a 90 or 75-minute presentation on their own. So Bridget Benj is on stage doing her own thing, and she does her intimate 50 people roundtable. Everybody's doing the same. Asti's going to do it, and Asti's doing a super interesting roundtable actually, because it's a female-only roundtable where she is actually going to discuss the topic of sexuality. So really, really interesting. We've got Amanda Gore, who I really wanted to participate in tonight's training, but she's actually in the US tonight. At the moment, but she's super interesting, so much fun. She'll make you laugh and hug and cry and kiss and everything in between. And so I want you there because I know as a business owner, you're going to get some immense value out of those 2 days. And it's not just the speakers, it's also the other 1,000, 1,500 salon owners who are also going to be there that you get to sit next to and speak to and get ideas from and understand and really start to build this creativity. And so how is it that I get you there? One of the biggest objections that we have faced is that, Billy, it's not the ticket, right? It's not the ticket. The ticket's fine. It's the flights and accommodation. And so we've been trying to think about how do we do this. And so for you guys who already have tickets, like I said, tune in because we're going to honor you this anyway. What we're about to offer you, it's $2,500 worth of stuff. We're going to give it to you anyway because you guys are awesome enough to participate in tonight's training. I love rewarding action takers. I love rewarding people who actually commit to the thing and they've shown up tonight. And so for you guys, we're going to do this for you. If you don't have a ticket yet, then tune in because I'm about to rock your world and change your life. And so, like I said, one of the things that we see, we hear the most is not the flight, it's not the ticket, Billy, it's the flights and accommodation. So we've got you an offer tonight. And what you're going to get tonight is firstly is a free $100 gift card from me to you. It's free. It's a $100 gift card from Flight Centre that you can put towards your flights and accommodation for Salon Growth Con. So if you are coming up from Sydney, that's your flights really. You can get a flight from Sydney for $90, $95. And you can put these 20 flights and accommodation for Salon Growth Con. We're going to gift you a $100 gift card from Flight Centre. So that's the first thing you're going to get. That's valued at $100. The second thing you're going to get is I have a 4-module online messenger marketing course, which a lot of people refer to them as chatbots or Facebook Messenger bots. I know Larissa McClemens is hugely passionate about it. She has her own salon bot. And I have a 4-module online course. It's valued at $199, and it takes you through 1 module each week that teaches you how to implement messenger marketing into your business so you can save countless hours, make tens of thousands of dollars all on autopilot, all without doing a thing. You don't need to be tech savvy. It's super, super easy to do. And I'm going to gift you that as well. It's $199. I'm just going to give it to you for free. You get your $100. So what are you going to get? So just quickly, it's what is messenger marketing, setting up sequences of campaigns, completing the magic formula setup, Facebook integration for maximum engagement, and setting up campaigns that constantly grow your salon without you having to be there. All right, so that's the course. So far, what you're going to get is the $100 Flight Centre voucher, and you get my online messenger marketing course. So total value so far, $299. If you don't have a salon yet, don't worry. You can get leads established and establish your database and build your audience prior to opening. So what else do you need? Well, what about a mastermind coaching webinar? So as part of my inner circle coaching, I do monthly webinars. So we do much like this. I do a deep dive. It goes for around about 2 hours, 3 hours, where I choose one specific topic and I do it of total immersion into that. Right? This is only exclusive to my coaching clients. They don't get this. And one of my most popular, anyone outside the coaching program doesn't get it. But one of the most popular masterminds I did was earlier this year. And the mastermind was how to correctly set up and execute a sales funnel, how to continuously work to get you new clients, and how to get clients who want to continuously buy from you. This goes for 2.5 hours. It's a step-by-step. It's a total immersion, total deep dive into this specific topic about how to get a ton more clients and how to get them to keep coming back and to continuously buy from you. And I'm going to give you that for free as well tonight. You're going to get that. You can watch it. You can learn from it. You can use it in your business. So you get the $100 Flight Centre voucher. You get the online messenger marketing course, and you get the mastermind coaching video, which is $997 of value. So far, we're at $1,299 of free stuff. The other webinar I did late last year, which was hugely successful, is about salon memberships. Right, Bridget earlier in the training tonight, she spoke about how you can get people to continuously keep coming back and how much that breaks down to a week. In my own franchise, we established a membership program, which on average, my franchisees were getting around about $30,000 to $40,000 a month in memberships. It was guaranteed income. People were on contract. It was guaranteed on the first day of every single month. They would just get $30,000 to $40,000 dropped into their account. It was guaranteed no matter if the clients visited or not, right? There's a way, I tried and tested memberships so many different ways, and this was the magic formula. And so I created a webinar. It goes for 3 hours, and it takes you through step by step. Doesn't matter if you're hair, beauty, skin, spa, massage, lashes. It doesn't matter what type of business you're in. It takes you step by step how to create and implement a membership program into your business that establishes $30,000 to $40,000 a month, regardless of your home salon or your multi-million-dollar high street hair salon. It doesn't matter what type of business you are. This membership program you can implement immediately into your business, and it's a step-by-step. There's nothing for you to buy or anything like that. I'm not selling you anything. It's literally, here's the webinar, and you can introduce that into your business. So you're going to get that as well. So you get the $100 Flight Centre voucher, you get the online messenger marketing course, you get the mastermind coaching video about sales funnels and flows and how to get people back into your business and repeat business. And you also get the salon membership training webinar, which is also valued at $1,000. So we're at $2,300. Now, I also have a new book coming out. It's called The Dawn of the New Salonpreneur. I had this trialed and tested and read by about 100 people. And they said it was one of the best books they've ever read in the hair and beauty industry. It takes you through how the salon industry is changing and what you need to do to be ahead of the curve. Now, I have not released this yet, but for anybody who takes advantage of the offer tonight, I'm going to give you a copy of that as well. So you're going to be one of the first people in the world to get a copy of the new book. So, as we said, you get the $100 Flight Centre voucher, the messenger marketing course, the mastermind coaching video, the membership training webinar, Billy's brand new book, and what else do you need but this? Check this out. I don't know if you can see me on screen right now. We've got some awesome merchandise that we are selling at Salon Growth Con. We've got male and female t-shirts. There's another thing to come in a second, and it's a salon cartel. So you can become part of our salon cartel. It says on the back, you can't read it from there, but it says, live a few years like most people won't, so you can live the rest of your life like most people can't. And so that is the definition of entrepreneur. I think it was Napoleon Hill, actually, his quote, but could be someone else, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I'm going to give you one of these t-shirts for free, and you actually get one of these cool BR coaching caps as well, which we're going to throw in as well as a little side bonus for you guys. So all in total, we're going to give you all of this. $100 Flight Centre voucher for you to use for flights and accommodation. You get the online messenger marketing course that is valued at $199 of value. You get the mastermind coaching video, which shows you how to establish sales funnels and flows in your business, which gets you bulk load of new clients and keeps them coming back time and time again. You get the salon membership webinar, which goes for 3 hours, valued at $1,000. Will get you hundreds of thousands of dollars into your business every year if you just follow the steps that are laid out in that membership webinar. And you get my brand new book. You get a new t-shirt and ball cap for yourself as well, depending male, female, whatever you want. We'll customize the sizing. And that comes to $2,350. All you need to do tonight to get all of this, and it's only available for 24 hours. That's it. It's only available for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you can't get all of this. If you have already got a ticket, like I said at the start, you just need to email support@billyrickman.com. So support@billyrickman.com. If you have been told this by somebody else later on down the track and say, you should email support. No, you have to have shown up for tonight's webinar. You have to have registered for tonight's webinar to get this. And you have to have watched what we've been speaking about tonight. But if you are a ticket holder and you've got to this point, yes, you can get all of this. If you are not a ticket holder, you're like, oh my God, how do I get all of this? Now, I'm going to show you how to get all of this in a second, and you're going to have your mind blown. But most importantly, the thing that you're going to get out of this is also a 2-day pass to Salon Growth Con, which is invaluable. If you think about 23 speakers, Tabitha Coffey, the people who you've just seen here tonight speaking and giving their insights at such an entry level, the content is hard as coaches to try and give you so much content in such a short space of time. But if we have 75 minutes on stage and then a 45-minute roundtable plus a Q&A at the end, then we have a cocktail gala on the Saturday night. If the coaches here or the speakers have that amount of time, we can really give you some amazing content. And so you're going to get 2 days at Salon Growth Con also, where you get to sit with 1,000 to 1,500 other salon owners. You get to watch these amazing speakers. You get to take notes. You get to, the value in that, if you're just sitting here, if nothing else, the value in that is so immense that it is literally life-changing. I promise you that. I don't say that just flippantly. It will be life-changing for you to be at this event. And so to make sure, so to give you such an irresistible offer, so you go, oh my God, I just can't not be there now. Billy has given me all this free stuff. I need to be there, including a $100 flight center voucher to get you your flights and accommodation. All you need to do tonight to get all of this stuff is purchase a ticket. Now, it doesn't matter if you purchase the executive ticket for $197 or you purchase a presidential ticket. All of our diamonds, actually, I should mention, all of our diamonds are sold out. However, we went to the convention center 2 days ago, and we have actually negotiated with them to purchase 2 more diamonds. They've actually opened up some more floor space for us, and they've given us 2 more diamond tickets. The diamond tickets get front row center. They're sitting on the floor, and they also get a meet and greet with Tabitha. They get the cocktail gala ticket paid for. They get their private barista. So for about 2 days, they just put their hand up and a barista comes running down and gets their coffee order and comes and brings it back. You get your own private Wi-Fi network. You get a free recording of the event. We've spent $52,000 just on the AV. So you're going to get this hugely professional post-produced recording of the entire event. So you can get to take it back and watch it over and over and over again. You get all this stuff. Now there's only 2 spaces left. So if you're watching this right now and you want one of those 2 diamond tickets, you need to email right now, support@billyrickman.com. You need literally just jump off right now. You're going to get all this free stuff. Don't worry about it. We're going to make sure of that. But you need to email support@billyrickman.com because we've got 2 diamonds left. That is it. Once they're gone, we're done. And so you need to email support@billyrickman.com. But if you don't want the diamonds and you just want to come to the event and you're like, oh, I need to be there. I have to be there. And I think most of you guys do need to be there and want to be there because it's going to be something special. All you need to do is purchase any ticket tonight. It's $197 for the baseline ticket. It's $397 for the presidential ticket. So that's your variance. And all you need to do is purchase a ticket tonight and you're going to get all of this stuff for free. And if I can just quickly go back again with what you're going to get, you get your 100. So you spend even executive level. So $197 tonight on your ticket. You get a $100 flight center voucher. You get a online messenger marketing course worth $199. You're also going to get your mastermind coaching video worth $1,000. You get salon membership training webinar, which is $997. You get Billy's brand new book for $47. And you also get a t-shirt and ball cap, which is worth $60. And you get 2 days access to the Salon Growth Con event, which is nothing that has ever been done in this industry before. And you get to hang out with these amazing speakers and trainers and coaches and mentors and leaders of the industry. and all you need to do is purchase a ticket. I cannot make it more irresistible than that. I cannot give you more than that. I literally sat down for days trying to think, how can I give you so much to incentivize you to take that leap. Take that leap. Have faith and confidence and trust that this is going to change your life. Just go now to salongrowthcon.com right now. salongrowthcon.com right now. Hit the purchase order. Get your tickets. We're going to see that you've purchased it tonight. We're going to know who it is. We're going to send you all this free stuff. We're going to get your t-shirt and your ball cap and your flight center voucher all organized for you. All you need to do right now is go to salongrowthcon. So salongrowthcon.com. Reserve your tickets. If you want those 2 diamond tickets, please make sure you've emailed support@billyrickman.com right now. I'm sure they're just going to be sold before the end of tonight, so make sure you do that. But even if you want an executive, which is $197, you go to salongrowthcon.com right now, purchase your ticket, and I'm going to send you all of this stuff for free. Free. And you get a holiday on the Gold Coast, for goodness sakes, for a weekend. Where else would you want to be in June but sunny Gold Coast? So that's it. That's it for tonight. I really, really hope that all of you have enjoyed tonight's training session. I have got so much out of these amazing speakers. I want to personally thank all of them. I'm going to come back and stop sharing my screen. Am I going to do that, or am I just going to, yeah, anyway, I can't figure it out. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I want to personally thank all the speakers and for coming on tonight. They've spent decades and decades in this industry serving people and learning and making mistakes and failing and getting back up and fighting in the battle arena and all of this cool stuff, and to be where they are, and their insights and advice and information they provide tonight has been invaluable. And I hope all of you guys at home have got something really cool out of this. I'm going to stop that share, and hopefully it's going to bring my face back up. Yep. And so on behalf of myself, all of my team here tonight, and all of the speakers who have been on the training tonight, all the Salon Growth Titans, thanks very much for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you in June, on June 15th and 16th on the Gold Coast for Salon Growth Con. Thanks very much, guys, and I will chat to you all later. Bye-bye.